All right, welcome in everyone to the third game of the night. We just saw um Cat Jam versus Reactor, and then what was the game before? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm losing my brain right now. Ancestor versus Kaido Kids. I'm so sorry. But now we are going to be seeing Chinese Dragons versus Diamond Dogs. I'm so excited for this game because these are two of the strongest teams in their group right now. Chinese Dragons being number one on the with Diamond Dogs following after with a very similar kind of win rate. Similar, I think Diamond Dogs have lost one, but Chinese Dragons are undefeated in this group. So I'm very excited to see these two teams go head to head. And the sets that we have tonight are Dredge, obviously, as we're seeing now. And then we have my god, Oni on the
Only
Cold
in the
Tower,
artist.
and then Artis as tiebreaker. Sorry, I'm locking in. I'm locking in. Fizz is joining me on the caster's desk. How are you,
Oh,
Fizz? And how do you think these games are gonna go?
absolutely fantastic. I think we have a very spicy set of games here tonight for us. As we see, we already got the first down onto Philly. Pig doing a fantastic job. Still got like 50% of our Nightfall left, so we can possibly get a quick hook here. Unfortunately, we don't really have a pain res to work around, as we all know mid-witch pain reses are just absolutely awful. And it just depends on your playstyle whether or not you want to run it, or you can run a completely different build. It just depends. First hooks coming through, no pain res. We do have ruin though, so we can push these survivors off the generators, play super aggressive. So we've got a little bit of that Nightfall left, so we've got the speedy TPs around, and with the and we have a DC. We're gonna see what the issue is with there, and until the refs tell me we are DCing, I'm just going to keep on yapping as we take chase onto Ranga here, jumping down into the courtyard. I believe that was a little bit of a BL there, so a little bit of an escape. As we all know, the Midwich map has changed a bit. The pallets are a little bit dog water, so BL is allowed onto the dredge now. We are over towards this 6th area. It's just a very dog water area, not really much to play around. We're just trying to play around this reception area and just make chase last as long as possible. Breaking this door, just get that out of the way as soon as we can. Just not committing to that chase. I think we saw a little bit of a generator explosion over there. I lied. We are committing to this chase, trying to cut them off over towards 5. That 5 pallet already been dropped. Just going to be breaking that and continuing this chase onto Ranga. And I think that's just going to be a full DC. So yeah, we're going to go to a quick intermission, run this back, and we'll be back with you soon. Alright guys, welcome back. So sorry for a bit of a mishap. We did have a little bit of a network disconnecting issue, so it is a no-fault restart, and they will just be running that back again. So yeah, we will be seeing Pig on the dredge. They could have changed their builds as they wanted to. I'm not sure if they did or if they didn't, but regardless, running it back straight on to the Midwich. Now, man, we had a bit of a Midwich game today. Are you excited to see someone else try and play it too?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Fizz. I'm excited to see, the undefeated pig. That sounds really bad when I say it like that, but I can't wait to see what he can pull off. I mean, Smug did really well and got a 4K4 today, but I'd like to see some intense dredge action happening as we're loading in. Once again, we have swapped out Gibbsy instead of Supersaurus. I think Supersaurus was getting crazy ping issues, so we have got Gibbsy on the survivor lineup instead. We are going to be TPing and immediately jumping on top of Ranga's forehead. Oh my gosh, jump scare. That is like the one thing about Dredge sets is you don't because he starts at Nightfall. You don't really want to be kind of near those lockers when he has his power up because he's just going to be TPing everywhere. And I think this is just going to be a down. Oh my gosh, what a very early down for Pig. And that's, yeah, exactly the start that you want. And we've got a pain res hook over here. I know you were talking, Fizz, before about pain res being a pick for some Dredge players. Some people don't bring it just because of the RNG aspect to it. I've seen in the past, sometimes pain res gets picked and then you just have really bad RNG with the hooks and you could just never make one and it is just an awful experience and you're just wasting an entire perk slot. But Pig's been blessed with these pain res hooks. He's got one in courtyard, so that's really good for him. We are going to be flying around the map here, seeing if we can get a tag or a kick on a gen. We see Philly, and I think that was Gibbsy doubling this gen over at 5, but we are going to be leaving this. We're in the basement.
Where are we going?
This is just, we see the FTP coming through as well onto Ranga, and the God Palette at 5 has been dropped too. So we are going to be taking the chase back onto Oh, we're actually going for the injured survivor promo who just used the FTP. We're going to be building a house promo. Gonna build a house for Pig to have, and we're just gonna be playing the 50-50 waiting game here. But no, unfortunately, promo just vaulting back into Pig's arms. But keep in mind as well that these survivors are going to be on pretty high ping. It is Northeast Asia servers that they're connecting to, so there's going to be some really delayed vaults and ping hits, as I'm sure everyone knows what that's like. But yeah, this is looking really dicey for the side of Diamond Dogs. What do you think, Fizz?
Yeah, I mean, Pig got a very, very quick and early down with pretty much with his full Nightfall available. So he was able to just run around the map and just push these survivors off the generators, you know, using that ruin to his full advantage. Now he's kind of just walking around, again, pushing these survivors off the gens, getting rid of locked lockers so he has a more TPable area, and the fact that he can TP to that locker in the courtyard when the hook's right there is low-key insane. It's just not close enough for it to be blocked by the the hook camp thing. So he can just pretty much push these survivors off the generators that they were working with, let the ruin regress them to 0, and just keep team straight back into the courtyard. And I think they're low-key just letting Promo cook here for a little bit, at least until just before second stage. And with the fake little TP there, we do see the unhook come through, but we're just going to be committing to Promo as we want to get a tunnel out as fast as possible. We do see one gen pop in the background. We do have this pallet over here towards 12. Promo running straight to as we have that 15-second of BT, and now it's just whether or not are we going to make this pallet stun, or will we be getting hit through the the pallet. And unfortunately just Pig doing a fantastic job just placing that remnant, making Promo have to leave that area, and just forces the down in the long run anyway. We got one generator done, so that's fantastic for the team. It puts us in a little bit of a standing point, but we do have the pain res onto Promo as well still. So whatever generators has been progressed, it's now had a pain res eat it. So
yeah, well, we see the gen over at top 8, I believe that was Philly working on, had a bit of progress, so they do have some gen progression on the map. Yeah, we see this gen is almost getting done. Oh no, that is not top 8. My bad. What am I talking about? But we do find Gibbsy here trying to rotate for the pool. I like the way Pig is playing right now. He's playing very, very hyper aggressive. Just trying to push these guys off the gems and just coming straight back to hook, seeing if we catch anyone off guard. And here we do. We catch Gibbsy coming in for the unhook onto Promo. Now Promo just needs to play for the absolute life here. I don't know if we have a gold pallet at 11. And that's where he is pathing to. Sometimes with this map, they've changed it recently. Well, he does have the god palette, thank God. But sometimes
doesn't spawn.
it just doesn't spawn, or either of them just don't spawn at all. And it's just miserable. And then the other team will have them spawn, and it's just super rough. But we do have 2 more gens pop in the background, so they actually have a lot of progression considering the start that they had first. They are cranking these motors. They are getting them done, and it's really good to see. They're just letting Promo cook on the hook. They're getting these gens done. But Pig needs to get this down as soon as possible so he can make that 3v1, and he's going to try and mind game Promo here. And oh my gosh, how low. We see the whole family's here. We've got Promo down. So he's got his tunnel out, and we know where 2 other survivors are now, and we're going to be taking this last hook into basement, and we know vaguely where the other survivors are. We have someone who's just above on that generator and the floor above that as well. So the Pig just going to be trying to see if we can find, ooh, this is a really good chase to have onto Ranger here, our injured survivor, going to be getting that down. We see that other gen pop in the background too. This is actually, Diamond Dogs are playing this really well, Fizz. They are just cranking these gens. They're down to 1 gen. This isn't too bad. They just need to get reset. Oh gosh, we find the reset. That is not good, team. I was going to say, they just need to get reset, not be found, and, just try and play out this 3v1. But this is looking very rough. It's turning very quickly. We find Ranger is on the ground, and we are in chase with Philly too, and everyone's injured, and it's just... yeah, it's a little bit rough. We go for the pick onto Ranger though, so maybe Philly and Gibbsy can reset. We don't have Nightfall up, so it is doable. But Pig does still have these pain res stacks, but I don't think they have a lot of gen progress at the moment anyway. I don't know if Pig has a 3-gen to kind of hold around. Oh, we do find Philly though. And I believe Gibbsy was nearby too. I'm not entirely sure, but we are going to commit to this chase anyway. And oh, getting a bit mind gamed on the stairs there. That is so unfortunate. And yeah, I dare say Pig is just going to slug here. I mean, why not? You've got someone on the hook. You've got someone on the ground next to the hook. But Pig just going to be just waiting, just chilling, seeing if he can find Gibbsy here. We do have Nightfall almost up, so it's going to be a lot easier for him to kind of zoom around and find him. But I think he's kind of just stealth. I'm not sure. Oh no, we find him. Oh my gosh, hello. Damn, a 4K1. That's a really impressive result, but it is, I think it's doable for Diamond Dogs. Don't you agree?
I mean, you know, it's definitely doable. All they have to do is pop, you know, 5 generators. But I mean, this is Chinese Dragon's pick, so obviously they want to be they're gonna be super confident on not only the killer but the survivor as well. And to say that, I mean, Diamond Dogs did a fantastic job of bringing that back. They had a really fast down in the beginning, but Promo's chase is just lasting that a little bit longer. Them just jumping on the motors and just getting as much pressure as they possibly could was just absolutely fantastic to even bring it back to that 4K1 result.
Yeah, of course, exactly right. That was a really good result for Pig, and I think it might be Gibbsy playing Dredge. I could be wrong, but Gibbsy's a pretty good killer all around. But yeah, it is Chinese Dragon's pick at the end of the day. I can't wait to see their survivor side and how they perform, and get, you know, all they have to do is pop all gens, so it's definitely doable. But we are going to take a short intermission while we get that set up for you all, so we'll be back. All right, welcome back everyone to Diamond Dogs versus Chinese Dragons. We just saw Pig take away a 4K1 against Diamond Dogs, so it's a pretty impressive result. You got to be happy with that one, getting a 4K. And now we're going to be seeing if our Diamond Dogs killer can take away what would be a 4K2. And we're going to be seeing Ranger on the Dredge, actually. We're not, I thought it was going to be Gibbsy for some reason, but no, we're seeing Ranger. But Ranger might be just cracked Dredge main. So we're going to be loading in. We do have a bit of a different build this time. We have Sloppy Butcher, Pentimento, no Corrupt, Eruption, and Ruin. I think no Corrupt is pretty standard. I've seen it's pretty common on the Dredge. But this is a pretty nice build. I like this build. If they, you know, that Penti will come in handy, especially in the 3v1, and the Ruin as well, obviously. And Sloppy Butcher is also just a pretty stock standard pick on the Dredge, as we're going to be finding NEAs here at this pallet, going to be dropping that, and this is going to be a tag as well. So very early tag for Ranger, good start. We're going to be continuing this chase too. We're going to break this pallet first. And yeah, Fizz, how do you think Ranger is going to go in this? Oh, he missed him. He's at the pallet. Anyway, Fizz, how do you think? How do you think this is going to go for Ranger?
I mean, so far he's already lost his first chase, which can spell a little problems. We do have a little bit of Nightfall left, so we might be able to find them if we do a couple of TPs here and there. But we have found Effect, and Effect's just going to be running towards this, I want to say 11 side, and that 11 pallet's already been dropped. Effect doing a fantastic job just waiting on the stairs, waiting to see whether or not Ranger will TP to that, and we do get a fantastic stun there. Unfortunately, not be able to get that swing through there, and Ranger's just going to have to leave here and drop this and try and find NEAs, who's more than likely just being reset right now. We are out of Nightfall, so we don't have the heartbeats to try and find these survivors, but we do find Lin here, who does unfortunately give a tag there, just getting a little bit of 50-50 there. It's not the best pallet in the world. Hopefully we have a pallet down in this 11 classroom. Sometimes that doesn't spawn either. But anyway, we're dropping this pallet. We're going to play around our Remnant here. We're just waiting for that to come back, and we're just going to be dropping this Remnant, so Lin realistically has nowhere else to go. Will we TP here? We TP to the Remnant, and unfortunately it's going to be the first down of the trial. Now this is a pretty long chase. I say this, like, you know, and we've already got the first survivor that was hit. Reset, we're out of Nightfall, so we have a fair bit of time to work around this, and the Ruin just got cleansed as well, so we've lost one regression perk, although we can Penti it, but we all know where that totem is, so it's going to be very calmed if that gets lit. it's going to be cleansed fairly fast. But the unhook comes through super fast, super clean. We do have the house tiles to work with. We're going to be running straight there. We're going to be just dropping that straight away. Instead of building the killer house, I'm going to build myself a house, says Lynn. Lynn just holding W over towards this window here. Do we have any type of exhaustion to work around? Maybe a Lyeth or something, but no. Going to be dropping that remnant to try and cut Lynn off from going anywhere, and we take that remnant back. Lynn doing a nice little double back there, not giving Ranga anything, just holding W. We are actually gone. We have already left over towards 1. Oh no, unfortunately 1 doesn't have that little pallet that's there, but we are going to make it upstairs to this pallet. Not the best pallet in the world. We're dropping the remnant once again. I mean, I think this is just going to spell the downs once again for Lynn, but no, we make it to the second pallet, and there's going to be a hit take coming through. We're just going to be swinging at nothing. We are in this little corner over here, dropping the remnant. We've got NEAs coming in for the hit take coming through, and now we're able to get out of this room and make this chase last a little longer. One generator popped in the background. I reckon another one's going to pop soon. We are about to get into nightfall, so Ranga's going to be a little bit more stronger. There's a second gen popping, and unfortunately we run into the classroom with absolutely nothing in there. So that is the down onto Lynn. That was a fantastic second chase for these survivors, and it's just going to give them so much time to set up on the generators, get NEAs, more than likely reset, and you know, crank those motors.
Yeah, that was a really nice chase from Lynn there. And the hit take coming through from NEAs too. We just bought him just a bit more time as well to get that other gen done as we do. Lit our Penti, we light our Penti totem, I should say. I was going to say I thought Ranga would maybe wait until the 3v1, but now I think that chase was just way too long, and I think it's going to be hard to make it a 3v1 now just with how long that chase was and those gens popping, but still in it. We still have a chance. We do get a tag onto effect here. A bit caught off guard. And now Ranga's just going to be coming straight back. Sakuda is pumping away at a gen in the background. And we have 2 injured survivors on the board. They're probably going to go meet up and reset, but it is nightfall, so it might be a bit tricky. And we see Sakuda's jumped off the gen, so they're probably going to be rotating to get this unhook. They need to come and get it pretty fast, but it will just result in a trade because Ranga is just going to confirm this to death here. And honestly, that's fine. You're next to an active gen. He's got a nice 3-gen here anyway. We've got one at top 1, we've got one at 12, and we've got one at bottom 11, it looks like. As we see Sakuda coming in, trying to get the unhook, but Ranga is doing an amazing job at just body blocking. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Does he get it? Oh, he does squeeze through and gets the unhook in time, but that is going to be a trade. As we see the other gen does pop in the background, and I dare say they're probably going to reset now. And Ranga needs to get this down as soon as possible. Lynn going to be pathing their way towards the, I want to say this is the 12 side of the map, or 6. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, 6. And we don't really have much to work with here. We just have this little reception area with some windows, but Ranga needs to... Oh, we do a little bit of a TP tech, but unfortunately, we're not going to be committing straight for that. We see the Cracker does drop, and Lynn just playing this super patiently. Do we have another pallet to work with? Do we have this God pallet in 8? We do still have access to this. That is crazy, and Ranga just going to be waiting for that to drop. Going to be breaking that instantly. As we see the reset does come through onto effect in the background, and a clean break, I think that is onto Sakuda. I'm not too sure, but we do... Oh, we get a disgusting hit through the pallet here, and this is now win con for Ranga. We see the Penti totem. Oh, now it's Tycon. My bad, I spoke too soon. We get the down and death onto Lynn here, but at what cost? We have our Penti totem is basically gone. We don't have Ruin. All we have is Sloppy and Eruption, and these guys... We're currently sitting on Tycon, so all they need to do is pop one more generator to win the set. And Ranga just needs to go crazy if he wants to tie this. Just have a little bit of a slugfest happening. We see Sakuda being fully healed in the background. Ranga kind of hesitating a little bit on this chase onto effect. We're just going to leave that and check on our gens. This gen has a lot of progress as well. Oh, actually, I lied. It doesn't have a lot of progress. It's a little bit... I get so thrown off by like the speed in which the motors are pumping, and it looks more high progress than it actually is. But we see 2 survivors here. We see NEAs and we see Sakuda here. Sakuda getting a very nice stun onto Ranga here and going to be breaking away. These survivors are playing this super well, just avoiding these hits and just cranking these gens.
When they're doing the fantastic as well, they've done a fantastic job of splitting the map too. You know, Ranga has to use it has to play super hyper aggressive, get tags, more than likely just leave this because we can't afford that generator over towards 11 to get popped. So, and you know, we both know that Sakuda and NEA's was doubling that, and yeah, we see them both. Actually, I think we only saw one person on it, so we just have to keep dry kicking this until we eventually get it down, and just hopefully we can get some tags onto some of these survivors, and then eventually work our way into it down. But unfortunately, we are out of Nightfall. Like, we just left Nightfall, so we are a little bit weaker as the Dredge. You know, it takes longer for our Remnant to come back. It takes longer for us to be able to TP across the map, but we do actually find them resetting next to the generator. A little bit questionable if you ask me. It is what it is. But, you know, we're taking a chase onto Effect. We get this down onto Effect. That could be pretty good for Ranger, and we can definitely TP back to that 11 gen and try and stop it from getting completed, as we did apply Eruption to it, and there's the Eruption proc coming through. We're just going to be TPing. We're actually going to be TPing into Courtyard. I think he wanted to TP into a hallway there to maybe try and cut off Eddie A's, who was running down the other side of the hallway. So a little bit of a mind game situation there, but unfortunately we TP'd to a Courtyard gen, and it just happens, you know. Sometimes we TP to basement when we're not trying to, and you just end up losing yourself of where you are. We didn't see anyone on the generator, so we're coming straight back to the pickup, and now that's another tag onto Sakuda. So, you know, Ranger is fighting for this Tycon. He hasn't given up yet. He wants to get the best result he possibly can. He wants to, you know, he doesn't want to give them the W. He's happy with the tie, and, you know, we're just going to be playing the slug game and the hyper TP around the map game, as we do see NEA's trying to pump away that generator at 11. We're going to be applying another Eruption to that, and hopefully if we find Effect here, we get a down on an Effect, that's just going to be absolutely insane. Or if we even just get a down onto NEA's here, that's also just chef's kiss.
Yeah, but NEA's has been playing super well with their chases so far this game. They did really well with their, you know, body blocking with Lin as well. We see the pick up onto Sakuda in the background. This is looking good for Ranger now, because we do have our Nightfall up, so we can use our power a bit more effectively. And we can just kind of zip around, get these slugs, get these downs as everyone is injured, so it's looking a little bit scary. As we see the forced locker onto NEA's, and we see the reset in the background too, so that's a good decision, I think. We don't have pain res to really worry about. We see the reset happening in the background. It just avoids Ranger having to go and slug. I mean, they can just drop it in the ground, but we see the reset, so that is really well played from the side of you know, Chinese Dragons getting that reset off. So now they just have to try and tackle these gens, get NEA's off the hook, and that's a really fast unhook too. So kind of catching Ranger off guard a little bit, as, oh no, we find security here just giving away a tag, and now we're just going to be committing to NEA's, it looks like. Maybe we can try and get a death onto NEA's as well and make it a 2v1. I think that'll make, you know, achieving a Tycon a bit more doable, as we still have our God Palette here. Oh my gosh, I thought this was dropped for some reason, but we do have that access to that, thankfully. So, but Ranger is just going to be just playing super aggressive, using the, you know, using Nightfall to its full advantage, as we do catch out security here. At this 12 palette, Nightfall is about to run out too, and Sakuda just playing this very, very patiently here around this palette. And we have life as well still. That is crazy. We just making it in a miss-swing as well. And he has another pallet here too, but it's dropped. And Sakuda going absolutely crazy right now. Effect and NEA, surely you guys are doubling this last gen, but I don't know. We do get the pull onto Sakuda, and Ranger is worried about these gens getting done. We have a lot of progress on this gen over at 1. We see NEA's postured for the pickup onto Sakuda, and the comms have come through, get off the gen. We see this gen has a lot of progress. Ranger going to be kicking that, and very nice stealth away from Effect there, not being found and giving a tag, because that would have been really, really bad if he got found there. We have a bit of progress on this gen too, so they can honestly just split these two, but Ranger, if Ranger can find NEA's here, stealthing away for this pickup, it'd be crazy, but no, oh my gosh, we see the clean break coming through. Was that clean break? What does clean break do? I don't know. I don't know. Something like you get healed,
press a button.
You press a button, you get up, or the yeah,
someone has to be healing
break.
and you press a button and it like pushes them off you, and then after a certain amount of time, similar to like second wind, you get reset, which is kind of insane. And I don't know if you saw there, but Sakuda actually has full stacks of auto didact too. So that absolutely helps in the long run with Sloppy Butcher, although Sakuda is on the
That's
floor, so
insane.
bro can't really do it to help NEA at all. But regardless, we are in Nightfall now, so Ranger is a lot stronger at the moment, and we have, you know, applied our eruption to these generators. Now we're just TPing around to try and find these survivors, whether or not they're resetting or they're trying to do the little crouch techs, you know, trying to hide from this full Nightfall. And I think that's probably a very good idea. It might even force Ranger to have to pick up Sakuda, because we can't realistically allow Sakuda to you know, bleed out here, as they are a fresh hook survivor. We do see NEAs drop down, use their BT, trying to get the pickup onto Sakuda, but unfortunately not getting there in time, as Ranger has called them out. We do have a cheeky little tile over here that they can work with. There is a unfortunately, there's just a locker at the end of that tile, so Ranger was able to get to the end of it, but the generator pops anyway. So that is the win for Chinese Dragons. I mean, oh my days, what a fantastic match to watch, Mayo.
Yeah, that was crazy. I did not notice the autodidact as well on Sakuda. I think you said it was. That was insane. It kind of explains for, you know, all the really quick resets, especially through Sloppy Butcher. So that definitely helps and buys them a lot more time in the game. So, but they did super well to get that gen done, and NEA's coming out just trying to bait Ranger into chasing just to get that gen done. But that was really, really close. A 4K0 to a 4K1. I mean, Ranger played... Oh my gosh. Ranger played that super well, considering the tough win con that he had against like a very, very strong team like this. So, you know, Ranger did, you know, the best he could. He did very well in that 3v1, and he really had to make Chinese Dragons work for it a little bit. But Chinese Dragons do take the win for the Dredge set. And we are going to be seeing an Oni set next, so I'm very excited to see an Oni game. These are actually the same sets we had, Fizz. But yeah,
Don't remind me.
Don't remind. I believe it'll be Gibbsy playing Oni, so that'll be good to watch. But yeah, we are going to be taking a short intermission while we get that next game set up for you all.
Welcome back, gamers, to Chinese Dragons versus Diamond Zog. We did just watch the first set of the series, which was Dredge on Midwich, and it was Chinese Dragons taking the W on that, getting a 4K0 on their survive size and a 4K1 on their killer side. So fantastic job to them. But we are moving on to the Oni set, which is Diamond Dog's pick. Oni on the Coal Tower. As we all know, Oni's a very like iffy killer. He can either get a couple of stages, 5 to 6 stages here, or, you know, he can absolutely snowball the whole match and get, you know, 4K, 3Ks. I don't think I've ever seen a 5K at 5 gens. What am I even saying? 4K 5 gens on Oni, but, you know, could be doable. You know, maybe Gibbsy's got a little bit of extra magic in his sword, so pretty stock standard build on the Oni. We do already see a couple of survivors run around in this mid area, but they have the main building to work around. You know, they've got the 2 on one side of the main, the 2 on the other side of the main, and whatever side the Oni's going to go on, they're going to run the opposite way and work around it. We are going to be bamming that window straight away. As we all know, main buildings are fairly strong. Just leaving those top side people straight away and just going to be chasing whoever this was that was running down this bot side of the map. I do believe that's NEA's, you know, running all the way to Shack. Very safe area to run. You know, we've got the Shack pallet to work around and a couple of fillers. I did see, you know, a nice little eye filler at the front there. I'm trying to play a little bit of mind games here. Just running around Shack. Going to be using that window. Dare say that's going to be a lie. Just bamming that straight away. We don't want any of that in our lives at all, says Gibbsy. But anyway, he's just doing a fantastic chase here, just using all the resources they possibly have, not even dropping that Shack pallet straight away. We're going to be using this eye filler first, just breaking that straight away, getting it out of our way, and choosing to actually leave this. We don't want to commit to that chase at Shack. Just get rid of a little bit of a resource and try and find these survivors. Yeah, we do find 2 survivors trying to double this generator at 9. A fantastic gen to double. Actually see that fairly heavy topside generators with that 112 main and 9 gen. Usually that 9 gen is just generally always there, or it's a mid generator. You want to get that out of the way and not have to deal with that. So the survivors are doing a fantastic job just pre-leaving. Good comms here, as we do have another chase onto Scooter. Scooter just dropping that straight away. Oh, does he know that Main has been bamboozled? Oh, it doesn't matter because this door is open, so we can just freely run out and go towards 10 and have a fantastic little short wall here to work with. Inside, we're actually just going to be leaving that chaining Bloodlust straight onto Effect. Effect only has this little filler pallet to work with. We're going to be dropping that straight away as we don't really want to be getting hit through the pallets. And now we're going to be playing games of 50-50s. No, we can actually chain towards this tile at 10. We do have Bloodlust too. Hopefully we'll make it over this pallet. I think if Gibbsy swung, they might have actually got that hit, especially with the ping, but no, we didn't take that swing. We are playing some mind games. Bloodlust 3, we are absolutely thooming right now. Gibbsy's definitely going to be landing this hit any second, and that's exactly what happens. We're landing that first hit, but we do have a lot of pressure on these two generators. We do see one about to pop in the background. NEA's has got another one about 90% as well, so we're going to be having 2 generators pop for the first chase, and we barely have our blood ready. I mean, Effects is going to be dropping the last little bit of blood, so we'll be having power right about now. So Gibbsy is a lot stronger. We do see another generator pop in the background, and we're just going to be using that to try and find another survivor. Hopefully one of these healthy survivors. I think we just saw Lynn here over towards that 8 tile, but we're going to be committing to the scratch marks onto Scooter. An absolute nice little fake there from Gibbsy, just running around the back and getting it down. And now this is where the slug game comes in. We do have power, and we know where a couple of survivors are, so we can play a little bit of a slug sensation and just try and get as many downs as we possibly can with our first bit of power. But I don't think the survivor is actually here. I think we might have got a little bit debated. Oh my god, Lynn using you know, line of sight, just getting out of there, just hiding behind this little rock. But unfortunately, NEA is getting caught out here, getting absolutely slammed through that window. So very fantastic first use of, you know, our first power, getting 2 downs, a little bit of a slug. But I think Lynn is there and ready to pick up Secura, and that is the pickup onto Secura. But we do have 2 injured survivors on the board, so that's going to be blood getting spilled all over the map for Gibbsy to absolutely suck up for the next chase.
Yeah, the survivors played that early game very, very well. You know, they avoided that first hit for as long as possible, but Gibbsy utilizing his power to his full advantage, getting 2 slugs out of it is very good, and we got a hook and a pain res out of it too. And Gibbsy still does have this heavy topside gen split to work with. We have this gen over at 9, and we have obviously our main 1 and 11 gen, as we do see. Oh, they really want to break this 3 gen. We're not even going to reset. We're just going to be sitting these gens at the top side. These guys are just going to be leaking blood in his 3 gen. And now he's just going to get power again. So we do see a reset happening onto Secura in the background, but ideally want to have everyone reset just to prevent that power. When we find NEA's caught off guard a little bit here, and we're just going to be instantly picking that. And this is exactly who we want to. This is our, I guess, our tunnel out. So Gibbsy just going to be taking this hook and Effect probably around the top side of the map. That's where he was last seen, but we do have a lot of power on the map too, just from all the downs we had earlier. So he's just going to get power again, and we're going to be found here. Secura just been seen in the 4 lane here, and if Gibbsy can get this down, that'd be crazy. We see the reset happen in the background. We do have this pallet to work with, but Gibbsy is... Oh no, we're kind of getting lost in the source a little bit here, and we're going to be going down, and I dare say Gibbsy is probably going to be slugging this, and I don't blame him, honestly. We want to go back to our tunnel. We want to apply some more pressure, as we're going to be wrapping around 9 side of the map and trying to catch out anyone else. I think someone was working on that 11 gen as well, but they've pre-left already, and we're just going to be coming straight back to this hook. We can maybe even confirm death with the rest of our power into NEAs here. We know that Lynn was kind of lurking around trying to get this, but power is about to run out, so maybe they can trade. But that's just going to be more power for Gibbsy to have access to, as we do see Lynn coming in. But no, I think they're just going to accept that NEAs is dead, and we're going to actually try going for the pickup onto Security here. Gibbsy not able to get the tag onto Lynn there as well. That would have been massive. But yeah, all of a sudden, Fizz, it's kind of turned into Gibbsy's favor. You know, these survivors did a really good job in the start of the game, avoiding that first tag with their chases and everything like that. But Gibbsy's first power just turned the game around in his favor, as we have Security hooked in the middle of the map, and we do find Lynn here too. So Gibbsy's playing this really, really well. Really, really well. And it'd be interesting to see how these survivors can play out this 3v1 with this disgusting 4 gen we still have at the top side of the map, as we're going to be dropping this pallet getting Bloodlust 1, so I don't think they're going to make it back. So this is just going to be a tag. We're going to be running into the hook, and Gibbsy probably going to be leaving this and going back to the hook, see if he can get another tag, or even just get power here. I don't even think he has enough at the bottom side, but maybe he has more over by the top side, as we see Effect working away at this on this gen at 11, trying desperately to break this 4 gen, but Gibbsy is going to be stopping that. Effect doing a really good job at just, stealthing and not being found as well. We're going to be kicking that, applying some Eruption. We still do have 2 Pain Resist stacks, so ideally, if we can get it down onto Lin or Effect here with our power, just need one more little Orby for our power, and we do find it behind the main building, so Gibbsy has
Oh, no.
located. This is Lin. Oh no, not Lin. My gosh, this is Sakuda we have here. Not a fresh hook, but we are going to be dropping this actually and going back to this gen. And Effect is just hiding in a locker here, and not being found. So very well played to these guys for just kind of stealthing out, and not being found. But as I say, we do see Sakuda being caught off guard a little bit here. Maybe they can pop the gen over at 11 for this chase. Oh, we're just getting stuck on the locker here. They might just buy enough time for that gen over at 11 to pop. But, ooh, Sakuda just kind of juicing around this pallet a little bit, playing this very patiently. Gibbsy going to try and mind game a little bit with the power. And bang, we get it. It works in our favor, and the Eruption procs in the background too. We've run out of power. We're cranking gens. We've got 11 cranking. We've got, I think this is short 6, almost done as well. So, but I don't know, Fizz. Gibbsy's playing this extremely well. But these survivors are just really fighting for it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got sluggy with it. That's exactly what I said before. Oni is so 50-50. You're either going to get 5 stages or it's just going to absolutely snowball effect. We do know that that generator over towards 11 is 100% going to pop any second. Now, oh no, we're actually just going to play it safe, super safe, not going to give away anything. We've already popped power, so Effect can just stealth here. Even Lin might even be able to do a little bit of a stealth and not give Gibbsy anything, but then this also just allows Gibbsy to kind of hang around the hook and hang around this area and just stop them from being able to get the unhook onto Sakuda. And I think this might even just be Lin getting caught out here and going down, but oh my god, a lucky little dodge there. Not quite. We still have Shack Power to work with, but that's going to be broken. Nice little blind there onto Lin. We did see Sakuda getting unhooked in the background, but, Lin's a fresh hook, so we will be able to use Pain Res if we get this down, but Lin is doing a fantastic job just slightly avoiding these dashes from Gibbsy, and we're just going to be hopping Rocky here, just get rid of that power straight away. We did see that Eruption proc in the background onto that generator of 11, and we're just going to be 2-splitting those gens, not even going for the heals, as I think these guys already know there's already a lot of blood on the map, and Gibbsy's going to just be getting power here, there, and everywhere anyway, so we're just going to give up on the fact of resetting just yet, so we can get as much pressure as we can on the board, as there's still 3 generators remaining. Gibbsy's doing a fantastic job of just holding down the fort, just holding these 4 generators on the top side, and even that juicy little gen over towards Shack, just doesn't want it to get popped. And oh my god, unfortunately we do find Sakuda, but Sakuda having sprint burst just allows him to just miss getting hit there. That would have been absolutely crazy if he got caught there. We don't really have a pallet here to work with. We do have this tiny little filler powder at the front of main to work with, but we also have power, and Gibbsy's just gonna go for that cheeky M1 after the power proc, and yeah, we're just gonna be dropping that, just letting that go for a slug. It does not matter if Sakuda bleeds out, and then a nice flick onto Effect here. So that is just straight up securing that 4K2. That is chef's kiss.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, Fizz, this killer is pretty 50-50. It can just escalate so quickly if, or when the Oni gets their power, they can just snowball, and it's worked out very well in Gibbsy's favor, and he's very, with his mechanics on Oni as well, getting some really nice flicks this game. It was awesome. And yeah, just using his power so effectively, getting so many downs, and getting a 4K2 is very impressive on Oni. So, but these survivors did, their early game was pretty good, like avoiding that first tag and everything. But as I said, when the Oni has their power, it can just escalate so quickly if you're just getting found and caught out. So, very good result from Gibbsy. I think that was it is their pick, and he's obviously very confident on the Oni. I believe he was a P100 Oni too, so he's definitely played a lot of Oni. So We are going to be switching sides, and it'll be Pig who will be the only player for Chinese Dragons. They'll need to try and get a 4K3 for win or 4K2 to tie. So I'm excited to see how Pig can perform. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break while we get that set up for you all. All right, welcome back everyone to Chinese Dragons versus Diamond Dogs. We just saw Gibbsy take away a 4K2, which was an insane game. You guys should go back and rewatch it. Gibbsy was just on fire that game, just getting so many power downs and really nice flicks. It was honestly just really great to watch. But we are going to be seeing if Pig from Chinese Dragons can achieve a 4K3, which is pretty tough, but we have seen it happen before in the past. Like, as we've spoken about a few times tonight, Oni is a very snowbally killer. So maybe I think the only way I can see a 4K3 happening is if Pig gets a really early tag and gets, multiple tags even, but just kind of playing hyper aggressive with his power and just catching people out. And I think in order for Diamond Dogs to not let that happen is just to play super safe. It's going to be hard on ping too. We all know how disgusting the ping hits can be. So I guess all these guys need to do is just pre-drop those pallets and pre-leave and just play super safe because you do not want the Oni to snowball and potentially lead to a 4K3 or even worse than that, a 4K4 or a 4K5, which I don't know if we've actually seen before. But we are going to be taking our chase towards the shack. We do have a bit of a different build. We don't have Bamboozle, so if the survivors can recognize that he doesn't have Bamboozle, they can just use that to their advantage as well. As we're gonna be, and as I said it, we're just going to be swinging through the pallet and getting a gross hit onto Ranger here. That's exactly the start that Pig needs. And instead of Bamboozle, Pig has opted to run Wretched Fate, so that's going to come in handy too for our Obsession Survivor, which means they'll get a hindrance on their gen speed, as we're going to be leaving the chase onto Ranger and going towards Superstores, just trying to play a little bit more aggressive. We do see the first gen is close to popping by Gibbsy and Philly, and now we're going to take the chase back onto Ranger. Maybe we can get power and get a bit sluggy with it, but we are going to continue to chase onto Ranger. We don't have Bamboozle to kind of work with, so we're just going to continue to chase. Ranger will make Shack Pallet here. And I believe he does make it. He does just make it. That was looking a bit scary, but yeah, I don't know. I think Pig, I don't know how long you can really commit to this for. I think Corrupt is up and the survivors are probably rotating to those top gens. So got to try and, look for a little bit of a sluggy game because those gens are cranking. You need a 4K3 to win. And yeah, I dare say Pig is just going to, Pigs is just going to continue chasing Ranger here. We're not going to be checking on our other gens. We're just going to keep chasing and holding our power, just burning through all of these resources. Ranger is playing extremely well, just avoiding this down. But as I say, we're probably going to be going down here. We're going to be forcing Locker, which is fine. And it's probably going to be a Pain Res hook. I don't know. He doesn't actually have any Pain Res hooks down this end of the map, so that's going to be really rough for Pig. But yeah, I don't know, Fizz. If Pig can get an insane power here and just slug everyone and, get the downs he needs and finds them, it's going to be hard. Because we see that gen does pop and, yeah.
Yeah, we're already at the, what Pig needs for the win con. So he has to play super aggressive here. And we're already popping power before we've even seen the survivor. But we know they're going to be on... We know they're going to be around here somewhere, or they're just going to be on those top generators. So hopefully we can catch someone out trying to get into a cheeky little stealth position. But I don't know. We drove past that generator over towards 1 and driving past 11. We don't really see anyone here. We do hear that main generator absolutely getting cranked. But, more than likely these survivors have already stealthed, considering the fact Pig popped power without seeing anyone. And this is where their 5 statistic stages come through. Normally Onis hold their power until they've actually spotted a survivor to spotted a survivor, so they can actually pop the power and confirm those downs. But I think Pig just kind of wants to use it to confirm that second stage onto Ranger. But this might Hello, Supersaurus. Actually getting caught out here over towards 5. I didn't even see him there, but Pig did that last tiny little bit of power coming in clutch there, and that's going to be a hook. But like you said, there's no pain resistors down this bot side of the map, so Pig has to walk for a mile just to even get that pain res, which means that generator remain is absolutely popping. So we're currently at the Tycon. I mean, but we also know that Pig also has power over at Shack as well, because Ranger was just bleeding for days over there. So this is... it could be doable, but look at that split, man. They've got 2 generators up that top side. We know one was being worked as well, and then we've got the Shack and 5 Gen 2. So I mean, if I was Gibbsy and Philly, just double that gen over the top side, because it doesn't look like Pig really wants to leave, which is a little confusing. Hopefully he's going back and just getting power. Maybe just leave. I think we need to leave this at this point. Gibbsy might even be around here stealthing. I haven't seen Gibbsy yet, but we do see that Philly is on the generator. Just ignoring that unhook straight away. Oh no, psych, as I say that, faking going towards 1. We're actually going back to that unhook. Maybe we can get it down onto Gibbsy here, who did come in for the unhook, and we're just holding W, actually. We're just doing a little bit of fakey mind games. I don't even know what this guy's doing. Bro's just driving around the map, just trying to cut these survivors off. We did see Ranger just having a fun time in basement. That's his... You know, he had his fantastic first chase, so he just had to die in the basement. That's what Pig said. He's like, so it's over for you, bro. That's the end of your time on the live stream. But Pig is just trying to find another one of these survivors. Maybe we can get another down in the last little second of our power. We're just playing a little mind games around the water tower and around these rocks and stuff, trying to find our survivor. But if these survivors stealth it out, this could spell big problems for Pig, and they'd definitely be able to come back and just pop those generators. As like I said, they've got a fantastic split on the map, and I don't know if Pig has really any more blood left on the map, Mayo.
No, I don't think I really agree with, the decision with Pig just kind of staying near that bot side. I think that first chase on Ranger went a little bit too long. With the win con that you have to get, you kind of have to, make those sorts of decisions. Is this chase happening for too long? Because realistically, these survivors can just, and they have done it, they've let Ranger die, and his death was definitely worth it because they've got all these gens out of it. So I think, Pig staying down here for too long. Like, he did get the down onto Supersaurus as we find him in the locker here. Wow, that's crazy. But we do have this really nice gen split for Diamond Dogs to work around. So it's going to be tough for Pig to kind of bring this back. It is a 3v1, so it could escalate pretty fast if he does get power and just catch Gibbsy and Philly off guard here. We do have a nice little mid hook here, but I think Philly is working on this gen over at 11, but he's doing a very good job at just not being found. You see a very fast unhook coming through onto Supersaurus too, and Supersaurus just going to be booting it towards the bottom side of the map, as Philly just going to be cranking away at this gen, and Pig is so desperate to find where they are, as they are doing very good at just pre-leaving and stealthing. But no, as I say it, we do find him, but we're not going to be committing to that chase just yet. We're almost at power as well. So now that Pig has the info of where these survivors are, he can go a bit crazy, and just try and slug them all. But this is just, it's very tough. I think the start game just kind of hindered Pig a little bit, but I'm not cutting him out just yet either. We don't have Shack Pallet here, so we have 2 survivors here. So if we can pop our power and get these downs onto Gibbsy and Supersaurus, and then go and find Philly over at 11, that'd be crazy. We do see Supersaurus here, who is our Deathhook survivor, but we don't want anything to do with it. We want to go check on this gen. But no, we're actually doing a bit of a fakey. I'm leaving, psych, I'm coming back to the Shack, and we see Supersaurus. Oh, and he just makes it astray as well. And we're going to be continuing this chase onto this eye filler on Supersaurus. But no, actually, we're going to be leaving and going back. And if Philly can stealth this out, but no, we do find him. We do have main building to work with as well. He does just make the window. Going to be breaking this door. We don't have bamboozle as well, so that's going to be it's going to make it a bit more difficult. But oh my gosh, what are we seeing? Is there someone there? Oh, okay. No, we're just going to be going back to Shack, but I think they're going to get this popped in time. Commit to the gen, the power's out, and we get the gen done. So that's going to be the win for Diamond Dogs. Very, very well played from these guys. Yeah, it was looking a little bit rough with that, 3v1, I guess, with Pig being in power and knowing where everyone was, but these guys have just been doing an excellent job at just avoiding getting tagged, getting downed, and just not being found. So we do get the down onto Super Source. So now Pig just have to play, play for the best result possible. We do see that Gen over at 11 is working away, and I think that might pop in time too. So we might see some outs this game, Fizz.
Oh, the generator does pop. Can we get a little bit of a stealth here? Philly trying to stealth back towards the back of main, and we did see Gibbsy just stealthing. Oh no, we do find Philly. We do get the down onto Philly, but we don't know where Gibbsy is just yet. Gibbsy's actually on a door. He's instantly just jumped straight on a door after we see that down, and it is absolutely pumping away. We will be able to get these out. I think Gibbsy's more than likely just going to leave Philly here. If I was Gibbsy, I'm the win con. I'm leaving out that door, and that's exactly what he does. Fantastic job from these survivors. All they had to do realistically was just pop 4 generators, but their killers set a fantastic, win con for them to meet. So, Pig did a good job. We had we had a lot of blood on the map. We had a couple of powers, and that last second down onto Supersaurus over towards that 5 tile could have just brought that back a little bit, but unfortunately, the survivors just did a fantastic job of just stealthing out the powers and just playing super safe and just not giving Pig anything to work with. So that does mean we are going to the tiebreaker, which is Artist on the Wretched shop. So we're going to go into a quick break. If you guys need to, go get a drink, go, run around your house if you need to, or wherever you are, whether you're in a cafe, in a house, at the beach, at the park. Just go do something for a quick couple, maybe 5 minutes, and we'll be back with you very shortly. Welcome back, gamers, to Chinese Dragons versus Diamond Dogs. We did just see the only set take place with Diamond Dogs taking the W. Now, if you missed those last 2 sets, I'm telling you now, go back and watch those when you can, because they were absolutely fantastic. Chases were insane. The plays on the killers were both insane. But regardless, it is now the tiebreaker. Who will win this set? We have no idea. And this is what it comes down to. Artist on the Wretched shop. Oh, Maya, it has been a hot minute since I have watched an Artist set. I don't even think I watched our own Artist set with I89 Crayon. Shout out my king. Did a fantastic job on his Artist. So, we do have a lot of, what do I want to say, like cross-map pressure with the Artist, with these birds. We can get a fair bit of information. If the bird doesn't quite hit you, it does give a little bit of a heartbeat. I can never remember the exact word of it. I always forget because my brain is smooth sometimes. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. Sunday, we're at the end of the weekend, even though it is a little bit of a long weekend. But regardless, we get a little bit of the heartbeat sensation similar to like Dredge, so we can get a little bit of information. And as I say that, we hit someone over towards that 12. That is Ranga getting hit with the birds. Can we get a little bit of a snipe action over here? No, we're just going to be setting up the bird to try and cut off the survivor from low-key just leaving this area. And as I say that, the bird's going to be running out, so Pig might just even be able to get a little bit of an M1 here. We do set the bird off, and we get the bird tag onto Ranga. Ranga's going to be playing around this tile, but realistically, he doesn't really have anywhere else to go. We do have the cutoff bird over towards the end of that tile, so we just have to run edge map towards this Z-Wall, and unfortunately that's just going to be the first down of the game. We have died super edge map, so this might give our team enough time to even crank some generators, but we did die where the open generators were, which can spell a little bit of troubles, but how deep we died was pretty decent, I would say, for Ranga. So, when in doubt, hold W to edge map, and it might save you a little time. But we do have, I was going to say, we have pain res in our back pockets to use for Pig, but we didn't actually have a pain res around there to even be used. So no pain res at the moment on any of the generators. We do apply Eruption onto the gen, and we also have Wretched Fate to work with. So once that first generator gets popped, Philly will have a little bit of a regression in his, repairing of the generators. So he'll take a little bit longer to do generators than what a normal, not a normal survivor, but a non-obsessed survivor would. At the moment, we're just kind of pushing these survivors off the generator, just setting up some shotgun bird, as I would like to call it. If someone goes for that unhook, we can send those 2 birds, and if it lands, we might even get a shotgun here. And it doesn't quite get the shotgun effect off, so we don't get the injured. Gibbsy did use an FTP, so we just want to play around these survivors. We want to give Ranga as much chance as possible to get out. We did see that generator over towards the 7 side. pretty sure it was that generator just getting popped. We do land some birds onto Ranger, but there's got to be the tag regardless. Take the M1 and with the birds, we would be able to get the birds off before we get the tag. The down on, and we do use the lockers to get it done. We got Supersaurus coming in for a hit take here, but it doesn't really get Ranger anywhere. We're still stuck at this tile. We just have to chase for our absolute life here, and it's just going to be Pig dropping the bird in the pallet, so we won't even be able to use the pallet, and Ranger just kind of has to sort of juice his way out of here, or maybe someone else can come in for a hit. So we only have Philly left, and we just dodged that bird. Fantastic job from Ranger, making it the shack pallet, making this second chase last as long as absolutely possible. And Pigs looks like he's choosing to actually just, no, I think he's just going to kick the gen and then continue back to this chase, because we want to apply that eruption and, you know, get that regression popping onto the generator. So now we have to try and find where Ranger has run off to. We did run deeper into this 6 area, running towards that 7, because we do know that generator over towards 7 got popped. So we want to die where we don't have generators, and the Wretched Fate is already gone too, so that perk is just absolutely no more. And unfortunately, Ranger not quite making that fast forward. We'll be getting downed in the bot side of the map. And I dare say it's going to be the pain res, because look at all the pain res we have on this bottom side of the map. None at the top, but heaps at the bottom. So we do still have that token to work with, and a couple of injured survivors on the board. So we are looking pretty good for Pig here.
Yeah, no, I agree. That second chase from Ranger was pretty long though. He was able to manage to get from, you know, the top side to the other, because I think that's, you know, that is where their gens are. So being able to kind of leg it from top to bottom and use Shack Pallet and a couple other resources was massive. We did get the Wretched Fate cleanse as well, so that's going to be really helpful, especially when it comes down to the 3v1. We do find Philly here going to be just giving off a tag, and we're just going to be going back. So if Pig can get this down as soon as possible, that'll be really good for him, especially in this 3v1. But we do still have this drop pallet to work with, but Pig has been playing pretty well with these bird placements as well, just trying to zone Ranger as much as possible, but Ranger is just weaving through them and dodging them very nicely. We do still have another pallet here to work with, going to be dropping that. Not sure what exhaustion Ranger does have, but we're just going to be holding W to the shack. Do we make this window? We do, and we still have a couple pallets here to work with too. No, we're actually going to be faking the window. That is massive. Ranger popping off right now. We do break away and make it back to this pallet, and we actually make the window too, but unfortunately with the birds we are just going to be going down. So that is a very, very good chase from Ranger here. Do we get any gen progress out of this? We do see a gen pop in the background, and we have another one that's almost done too. We actually have another one that Philly is working on over at 6 that has a lot of progress too, but damn, these guys are cranking. Ranger's death, once again, just well worth it. These guys do not mess around with the gens. And Ranger just clutching up with that last chase. It's exactly what these survivors need to bring this back. And now they do have another, you know, 2-2 split. They have 2 gen spot. They have 2 at top, so they don't have to worry about a 3 or 4 gen. They can just split the map and get these last gens done, as we already have a lot of progress on this gen over at 6. It is so close to popping, but Pig still does have pain res to work with and eruption. But without the Wretched Fate, it's going to be a bit of a hindrance. It's just a wasted perk now because they've found it and cleansed it. We do find Philly here. He does just dodge the crows, and we're going to be continuing to chase. If we can get a fast down here and get our pain res, that'll be massive for Pig to bring this back, and we get that eruption proc onto that 6 gen too. As Pig, we're a little bit worried that this gen is going to pop. We're just going to send a bird over that way just to harass them off the gen. Maybe we could get a tag across the map. No, we have jumped the locker to get rid of the birds. So Pig is actually going to be playing a bit aggressive here and just going for another chase onto Supersaurus here. Maybe try and get a tag and go back for the pick. But no, we're missing our birds. We're making it... The birds are flying away. And we have a lot of resources at the start of the map to work with. We have a lot of fillers. We're just holding W. Supersaurus just holding W across the map as far away from that gen over at 6 as possible, and from the pickup onto Philly too, as we're just going to leave Philly slumped on the ground here and just continue this chase. And Supersaurus just playing for their life here. We do have a little bit to work with, but we are going to get swarmed by the birds. And with the add-on too, I think it's called Untitled Agony is the yellow add-on, which means that when they get hit with the birds, they are hindered for about a second and a half or something like that. So allows Pig to kind of catch up to them a little bit and hinders them. So We do see the pickup happen in the background onto Philly, and we get another gen pop too. So there was actually another gen that has been working with high progress, and this gen over at 6 is almost done too. And Pig, I think you just need to pick this on Supersaurus and get the pain res. You have a nice hook in mid there too. I don't know if he actually makes that though. We do see that Supersaurus has kind of crawled to the corner of the map, so that's actually huge because that means that Pig can't make that pain res in mid. It's a bit more ideal for him. Or maybe he can make that hill hook too. That would also be massive, just so he can
Definitely makes the hill
he
hook.
definitely makes
Oh
a hill hook.
my.
Yeah, I thought the hill was like facing the other
Yeah.
way for a second, but this means that we can kind of monitor that gen over at 6 from a distance on the hook. But pain res does eat that gen, and we're just gonna see if we can catch out either Gibbsy. It would probably be Gibbsy coming in for the save onto Supersaurus here. But no, we're actually gonna be resetting in the background, so that's also good. You want to be healthy in this 3v1. You know, you kind of want to slow it down when it comes to this. Don't want to kind of rush it. We had that gen over at 6 that has a lot of progress. It has been hit by pain res. We don't have to worry about, you know, ruin or anything like that. We do find Gibbsy caught out here, going to be just giving a tag, and I dare say Pig's just going to go straight back to the hook, as we can only assume that Philly is the only one that's going to be rotating for this now, as we do see it come through. And Pig going to be making their way back. We do get a nice swarm onto Philly here. Maybe we can snipe over the hill. Go on, birds, fly, fly. We get the tag onto Philly. Bang! We get the tag with the birds. And now Pig's in a really commanding position right now. We have everyone injured. And maybe Philly and Gibbsy are just going straight back on the gen to double. I don't know. But no, we're actually going to be working a different gen. We're working on 1. This gen has started progressing, but Gibbsy it's looking a bit tough for Gibbsy right now. We do have the swarm and the bird up, but we're just going to be going down, and the eruption procs on that gen over at 6 in the background too, and that's going to be another fresh and pain res for Pig.
I mean, Pig has done a fantastic job of bringing this back. These survivors have also like an immense job of just getting these you know, getting these generators out of the way. They've got a fantastic split of 1 and 6, so you know they can pre-leave very safely. But Pig is he's fighting. They want the win. Chinese Dragons want to hold the crown for as long as possible. They don't want to, you know, in the group stage. I think if Diamond Dogs wins this, it's like a tied in the group stage. So, you know, Chinese Dragons doesn't want to give up the top spot. So Pig's playing super aggressive here. He has to. You know, there's 1 generator left. He can't really afford any of these survivors to safely be sitting on the gens. Now, he knows that no one's on the gens right now. They could potentially be meeting up for a reset, but no, we actually find Gibbsy over here at the back of main. Might be playing super aggressive. Who knows? Maybe that generator towards 6. Oh, I lied. That's Supersaurus. My bad. Gibbsy's on the hook. But anyway, find this chase onto Supersaurus. We do get swarmed by the birds, and that's just going to be the down onto Supersaurus. So now we can just leave this slug. We do not really care about Supersaurus. Supersaurus has already been hooked. We need to find Philly. Philly is our last fresh hook survivor, so Supersaurus can realistically just, you know, bleed out on the floor. Who knows? Maybe Philly's gone for the wrap onto Gibbsy. We have no eyes on Philly. No eyes where Philly is. Gibbsy has landed in that second stage, on the hook, so Pig can just keep shooting birds over towards 6 and just realistically sit here, wait for this generator at 1 to fully regress, which it has already happened, and then just pretty much sit in front of Gibbsy and wait for him to die. Maybe they're going to go for a hatch/door play and just try and get as many points as they can out the door, and rather than try and fight and, you know, get that last generator completed, because I realistically don't think it's going to be happening anytime. Ooh, sneaky beaky. Philly's coming in wrapping around the back, trying to come in for a little bit of a cheeky save, but Pig is very close to where he's hiding, so this could spell problems. And as we turn around, Philly coming in for the save, and we see the save come through. Gibbsy's got to have a chase of his gosh darn life, and maybe he's going to go pick up Supersaurus over here. Supersaurus is definitely ready to be picked up. But regardless, one of them's going to be going down, so it's just going to be a trade after trade after trade. And smack bang, Gibbsy back on the floor. Supersaurus going for a run now. We don't really have anything really to... Oh, I lied. We have this one pallet over here towards 12 to work with, but with these birds, we're able to just cut these survivors off from even using the tiles. Supersaurus doing a fantastic job of dodging that bird and just playing around this tile. Now we're just standing up some birds here to try and cut survivors off. Supersaurus just holding W. Maybe we can make it back to this pallet, but I don't think we'll make it, especially with the ping on top of that. We're just not making it there. fantastic job for these survivors trying to, W to Philly for trying to come in and save the team, just sneak in behind Pig there. I mean, Pig just played super aggressive towards that end. He didn't want to lose another generator and just wanted to confirm that 4K1, and he just getting tag after tag. It's just exactly what you want to need. It just gives you so much momentum on your side of things. So huge W there. So that is a 4K1 result on the side of Diamond Dogs Mayor. Now it's going to be Gibbsy next on the killer, I believe. Although Philly could bleed out here if he crawls away. Interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will make an impact, especially if it does get to a 4K1 situation and it's Tycon. We haven't really seen anything like that happen for a long time, but I mean, it definitely does have an impact if it does get to Tycon, but as I say, we do find him, so it's not going to matter. We're going to see the nice little artist Mori here onto our ace, but 4K1 is a very impressive result on the artist. Dang, look at those birds flying out. Whoa, whoa,
whoa. Birds flying?
Birds. But no, very good result from Pig there, and I'm excited to see how Gibbsy can pull off, trying to get a 4K2 for win. It's gonna be a close one, Fizz, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So we're going to take a short break where we get that set up for you all.
Welcome back, gamers, to Diamond Dogs versus Chinese Dragons. We just saw Pig secure himself a 4K1. Now the survivors either have to pop, all the generators, or Gibbsy on the side of Diamond Dogs has to get a 4K2 win con. Now we have seen a couple of 4K3s, 4K4s on the side of artists, so it is doable, very doable. It just depends how well or how often you play artists, or whether you scrim it all the time, or is it just one of those killers where you're like, I can play it. I'm not the best, but I can definitely play it. So keen to see what type of build that Gibbsy's going to be playing, whether it's going to be similar to what Pig played or absolutely different. So we're loading in here. We find the little survivors on the top side of the map, and Gibbsy has spawned on the bottom side of the map. We are running Penti Devour. Ooh, spicy. I like that. A little bit of Pain Res and Ruin. So we do already slam 2 survivors with birds, so that's a very good start here. So we already know where 2 survivors are. We do have crows onto I think that was Effect here. Yeah, first chase onto Effect on these TNL walls over towards the one side of the map, and just making our way over towards this pallet. Not quite able to make it. We did see someone trying to work that Ruin, but unfortunately the chase running into that. Taking that first hit onto Effect, trying to dodge those birds. And we're just going to be throwing those because we knew Sakuda was trying to go back for that, the Ruin there. We really don't want that clench straight away. And we're just going to be sending another bird over there to try and get Sakuda off. They did a fantastic job of Gibbsy committing to this chase, but also getting Sakuda off of his Ruin. So that's a W there. We get the down onto Effect, and we can stop Sakuda once again from trying to lens that Ruin. We don't want that Ruin going just that, as it's one of our only regression perks, and it is super strong on the side of artists. As you know, the artist can just shoot birds across the map and push these survivors off the generators, and that just gets the generators regressing over and over and over again. So it is a very strong perk. And we also have Pain Rest to work with as well. So this is the first Pain Rest coming through. We do have about 50% progress on one gen, and then the other gen getting hit with the Pain Res dropped it down a little bit more. So gonna be throwing some birds over towards this bottom side of the map, trying to get NEAs here. I think that was working on that generator, trying to get a little bit of a tag here, hopefully before we go back to this hook and try and commit to this tunnel out onto Effect, but actually just not choosing to go back just yet. Maybe we want to get this tag first and then try and find where Effect has gone off to. But NEA's doing a fantastic job just trying to dodge that first hit, trying to dodge those birds. We're just going to be taking this chase straight to the shack. Drop that pallet straight away, but now we've got to try and use these birds to try and get a little bit of tag onto NEAs, but NEA is just using that I think that was Light there that we just saw come through, and we're just trying to make it all the way back towards this 6-star, doing a fantastic job in this chase right now, not really giving Gibbsy anything to work with. We're just going to be dropping these pallets. Will we get it down? But no, fantastic dodge there once again. We still have this shack pallet and not kicked, so we're going to be kicking this shack pallet. Jen popping in the background. Ruin gone, so we don't have Ruin to work with. We do have Penti. We can apply the Penti to that. It wasn't even Ruin that left. It was actually Devour. Oh my god, I forgot about it. I commented on Devour Mail, but I absolutely forgot about it as soon as I commented on it, and I was like, oh, that's just Ruin. It wasn't even Ruin. It was actually Devour. So we still have Ruin in our back pocket somewhere, which is hiding in that little tucked corner in the alcove in main. So fantastic down onto NEAs, but it's not really our tunnel out. So maybe Gibbsy's gone for more of a pseudo tunnel out effect where we sort of tunnel out two survivors at the same time, or just go for our pain reses first and get all these gens regressing in before we tunnel out that first survivor. So looking pretty good at the moment, Mayo.
Yeah, I don't know. NEA's played that chase really well. They, wasted a little time at the bot side of the map with Gibbsy, and they managed to make it towards top as well. But they do get hooked in the middle of the map. See a very early unhook coming through onto NEAs, and NEAs is just booking it towards the top side of the map. We're trying to make that window because we do have life, but unfortunately, Gibbsy's just going to wait out this 15-second BT. Do we make it? Oh, 15-second BT is insane.
So
we do make the litho, and Gibbsy is going to be dropping this. I don't know if I agree with this. I think we need, if you want to achieve that 4K2 that you need to get a tunnel out as soon as possible. But we do have effect here, which is also fine. They are also, I guess, considered a tunnel out. They've already been hooked. So we are going to be committing to this. FX is going to be holding W to the top side of the map, away from all of these generators. We see someone trying to work. See someone trying to cleanse the Penti totem here, but Gibbsy is just pushing them off. We see another gen pop in the background, and Gibbsy going to be committed to this. This is another fresh. If we can get a tag onto here and a down, that'd be insane. But no, we're just going to be taking the tag and then probably leaving. Gibbsy just wants to hold down this area. I don't know. These guys are just playing this really well. Their chases are super long. They're dying where they need to be dying, away from all of the gens. And it's put Gibbsy in kind of a tough position. We've seen them reset in the background as well, so that's massive. And now we're just going through another fresh hook survivor, which is Sakuda. And now we just have to pick this and get the pain res, I think. We have spent a bit of time resetting, so maybe there's not as much gen progress happening. We do have the one stack of Pentimento that is slowing them down a little bit. We see that Lin is cleansing that as we speak, and I think they do get it off in time. They do get the bird swarm, but we're just going to be committing to that to get it done. So that is the Penti gone, but we do still have Ruin to worry about as well. And Gibbsy going to be taking this chase onto Lin. Going to be getting that tag. We see a notification in the background too. I'm not too sure what that was. Maybe someone's coming in. I think that was a Vault coming in for the save. Yes, we do see the unhook happening onto Sakuda here, and Gibbsy, I think you just need to get someone out of the game. Just get someone out of the game here, because otherwise it's going to be super difficult to get this 4K2. It's a lot harder to achieve when you have 4 survivors alive. So we are committing to this onto Sakuda. We do see NEAs here trying to take a body and take away the birds, but no, we get a really nice bird down onto Sakuda here, and we get a tag as well. We'll take those, and now we can just hook Sakuda, and that is our tunnel out as well. So, but they have popped another gen, so we are currently sitting on win ton. So they don't have a lot of gen progress. They're just starting another gen now, so it is still relatively doable for Gibbsy. We kind of have just like a straight line of gens here. We have one over at the corner of 5. We have main. We have close to Shack as well. See a very quick reset happening. Yeah, this is the clean break coming through onto Lin. And hopefully they can last enough time for that full health state to come through. But Gibbsy's just going to be dropping that. He wants nothing to do with it. We want to try and cut off someone who is coming in for this save, which we do see happening. And this chase needs to be very fast onto Sakuda, and I can only just guarantee these guys are just going to be cranking these gens. I think Effect's actually taking the bird from the back onto Sakuda here. Very well played. As we see another bird swarming us. Oh, everyone's here. We see Lin getting swarmed as well. We see Effect body blocking too. Very well played, but we do get the bird swarm onto Sakuda here. Maybe Gibbsy can get a snipe through main building. That'd be crazy. He's sending them all out, and we do get the down, and he looks up in the air and cheers. I did it! Yes! We get the down. That is exactly what Gibbsy needed. And we still have Ruin up too, so that's going to be pretty hurtful for these survivors too, especially in this 3v1. They're going to try and pop this last gen. And we saw earlier, there wasn't a lot of gen progress. they were kind of, resetting, and then, everyone was trying to come in and take a hit for security to keep him alive, and now we're just resetting again. So there's not a lot of gen progress at the moment, and with Ruin active, it's just going to be free regression for Gibbsy. We do hear a bit of progress on this gen near Shack, and we do just find the finish of this reset too, so that's going to be a tag. And if we can get a nice down and hook near that gen, that'd be just insane for Gibbsy and exactly what he needs. But we do have quite a bit of resources here to work with. Gibbsy just going to be zoning NEAs here with the birds away from the pallet, and we do get a tag. And NEAs sort of pathing towards the active generator. I don't even know where she went. Did she go top then? I'm not too sure, but Gibbsy
Yeah.
kind of losing NEAs in the source a bit here, but no, we're actually running back to our most active generator, so this would be really good for Gibbsy if he can get the down onto NEAs here. Gonna be trying to hit a swarm onto NEAs, but NEAs is just holding W. We do still have a pallet here to work with, and I think we still have Crane as well, so if we can break away to that at some point to extend and chase a bit more, that'd be massive. They just need to pop one more gen to get that Tycon, and oh my gosh, only just avoiding the hit there onto Gibbsies, and NEAs is just playing crazy tonight. MVP! Look at that, and we do unfortunately go down, and Gibbsy was thinking about slugging there, but no, we're just going to be taking this pick. This is... we get
I
the
was going
gen
to say, I'm
done.
fairly certain Lynn was just been
Yeah.
signaling that generator over towards one the whole time, and with Effect just running straight there, just doing that cheeky little double, and they're going for the reset as well. I mean, like you said, it's the chase you want. We're now sitting at the Tycon, a fairly split side with the main and that generator over towards 5 as well. With that one generator, Gibbsy did have a fairly decent 3-gen that he could possibly work around, but unfortunately they were able to, get that out of the way, and we'll get a snipe onto Lynn, but we find Effect over here, so if this chase lasts too long, I don't know. It could spell troubles for Gibbsy, but Gibbsy doesn't really want to risk that too much. He wants to try and cut off Lynn, who could possibly be going in for the save right now. And yeah, we're looking across the map, and from the Discord point of view, I can't exactly see if there's anyone coming in, but I don't think anyone's coming in just about yet. But we're shooting birds over towards main. Like I said, we still got that ruin up, so he's able to just shoot birds at the generators if anyone's working them, and kind of just keep pushing them off and just pestering them. And NEA's is hooked in a little dicey spot. You can low-key just block that hook as well by standing in front of it. So I think that Gibbsy's kind of happy here just to confirm the death onto NEA's, and these survivors are trying their hardest just to get this last generator popped. I think they're fine with letting NEA's die here too. As long as this chase here onto Effect, I think that was as long as this lasts long enough, Lynn can more than likely get that last generator done. But I think Gibbsy wants to try and commit to this, see if he can get the down fast enough. We are going to be getting a tag right here, and most of these bot side pallets have already been used in previous chases. If we just get that tag, we're just going to be leaving straight away, shooting the birds over towards that top side of the map, and getting the swarm onto Lynn. Lynn using the locker to delete the swarm off of them, dodging that next one, just holding W away from the generator. We don't have much progress at all on the gens either. This chase has to last a solid time for Effect to even be able to get that other generator towards 5 done. So as we can see, we see Lynn just running towards these tiles over towards 7. Just absolutely juicing right now, just double backing here and there, just making sure that Gibbsy can't really cut him off and cut off any cut off the exits. But unfortunately, we do get that tag through the window by the birds, and can he make it back towards this 7th pallet? And we're doing a little bit of dodge there, but unfortunately the tag comes through anyway, as we're able to just practically swing straight after we shoot the birds. And that gen does have a fair bit of progress, but unfortunately it's just not enough progress for Effect to be able to get done. And we get tagged by the birds, so we know exactly where he is too, so we can just leave Lynn on the floor and try and go for this this last little chase onto Effect. And Effect has nothing over here to work with. We do have a little bit of a window, but he's not going to be making that window, and then he's going to be down onto Effect. A tie. I mean, as long as Lynn doesn't bleed out or crawl away or anything like that, he's definitely a tie. But fantastic job from Gibbsy, just to he lost a pair fairly early on. They got rid of his Penty. I think they might have taken a little bit too much time on that Penty. It might have cost him a little bit. We kept shooting a couple of birds here and there, but you know what, if it works, it works. They wasted time on it, and that's exactly what Gibbsy wanted. And he secured that tie for the team, so it was basically just 1-1 tonight, Mao.
Yeah, those were some insane games to watch. They were very, very close. And I feel like in this set that we just watched, if Lynn had, kept the chase going for just a little bit longer, because Effect was cranking that gen over at 5. And if Lynn maybe survived another extra 10 seconds or 15, that would have made a massive difference because you could have just committed that gen and get it popped and get the win. But yeah, that was so close. And just all of these games have been really close tonight, Fizz, between Diamond Dogs and Chinese Dragons. It goes to show that they are, you know, the strongest teams in their group right now, being on the top two of the ladder. So those are some excellent games to watch. So very well done to both teams. It was as you said, a tie, so a 1-all. And now we're going to be moving on to our next game of the evening, or our last game of the night, which will be Evolution versus Nameless King. And for these sets, we'll be seeing Mastermind up first, which is Nameless's pick. Then we have the Lich. Ooh, I'm excited to see a Lich game on the Dead Dog, which is Evolution's pick. And then with a Doctor Tiebreaker. Ooh, I kind of hope it goes to Tiebreaker Fizz. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't seen a Doctor set for a hot minute, but those sets are always super fun to watch, in my opinion. But in saying that, we are going to take a short intermission while we get this next game set up for you all.